All right, everybody, welcome to the JK Theory. Here we talk about anything and everything. No topic is left untouched, no stone is left unturned. We give it to you raw and uncut. We don't sugarcoat here, and even the serious topics, they get a little bit of comedic twist because at the end of the day, you just got to laugh about life. Am I right?
Facts.
Absolutely. So on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about WWE, to actually be precise, NXT Halloween Havoc. So this is literally going to be like a Halloween Havoc review, but also a reaction video. Why? Because honestly, God, I have never seen an NXT pay-per-view. This is my first. I hold Halloween Havoc in my memory bank repertoire very highly. I think it was one of WCW's best pay-per-views out there. And who doesn't love Halloween? Everybody likes the spookiness. You know what I mean? It was cool. So I'm gonna start off by saying I wish I would have watched NXT a whole lot sooner. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Hearing Booker T announcing just brought back so many memories, and I loved it. I don't know who the guy next to him was. I don't care. Not that he did a bad job, but just to hear Booker T in there was cool. Um, I kind of miss Jerry Lawler. I kind of wish Jerry was still doing commentary. A few things. The first match. So we're gonna start off here. Again, I don't know these guys. I've heard of one, and we'll get to that later. But I've never heard of these guys. I've never watched any of their stuff. I'll catch little clips here and there, but I don't know what I'm watching here. I mean, so we've got the first match is a tables, ladders, and scares match. Is how they're like spinning it. It was, and if I'm saying it wrong, let me know. But Obafemi
Mm-hmm.
versus Don or Don Tony D'Angelo.
Hello. Yep.
Okay. So, and this was for the North American Championship.
Yes.
So, is there other championships like other than like is there South American championships? Like, I don't know how they're spinning this.
No, it's the North American title.
Okay.
Yep.
So, one of my biggest critiques in that match is I think they should have announced them. They didn't announce it. Like the announcer was in the ring dressed like Beetlejuice,
Yes.
and he was about to start, say who they were, but he didn't give these guys like their proper entrance. And I'm like, you should have done it. I think you guys dropped the ball there. I get why they didn't do it. So spoiler alert, because there will be spoilers here. It was all part of the act where they were getting ready to announce, and then one guy hits the other, and then they just start the match. However, the ring announcer is Mike Rowe. Very impressed with him. I like his presentation, like the way he does it. I don't think he has his own niche. I think he's following everybody else's style,
Right.
but you can understand him pretty clear. I love that he was dressed up. I think that was the theme for Halloween Havoc. Everybody was dressed up a certain way, so that was pretty cool. Um, let's go to the wrestlers. So Oba, right? Oba or
Oh,
Abba? How do you say it?
over.
Oba. This guy's a beast. This guy is very impressive looking.
Yes.
I was like, what in the world is this? The guy he was facing, I'll just call him Don. So Don, or what should we be? D'Angelo?
D'Angelo, Don, whatever.
So
Whatever.
D'Angelo, he doesn't look very impressive to me. As at first glance, he didn't look very impressive. He kind of looked like if you were to play WWE wrestling like on the PlayStation and you're creating a character, like that's what he looked like. Does he dress like that normally, or was that just for the Halloween thing?
That's usually how you dress.
Okay. So I thought I wasn't gonna like the guy. I thought this was gonna be like, okay, I'm watching it because I'm watching it, right?
Right.
But no, it was a very impressive match.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the match. They used things that I haven't seen before, or maybe I haven't, I just forgot. Like they pulled out the zip ties. Like, what in the world was this? Like that was incredible. Within the first minute of the match, you've got somebody going through the barricade.
Mm-hmm.
You've got chair shots, which it should have been called Chair Shot Havoc. because they were bending those chairs like it was no tomorrow.
Yes.
It was like they came backstage and was like, every time you hit somebody with a chair, it's $500 in your pocket because they were swinging that thing like it was no tomorrow. There was a ladder that was taken out that was propped up by the ring on one side and then the announce table on the other. Brilliant. Love that idea. That was cool to see. Um, they went blow for blow. They brought even the crowbar was out. And the other guy was using, I'm trying to remember who it was, but one had the crowbar, the other one had the chair. Obama Femi had the crowbar. D'Angelo had the chair. And Oba's like swinging that thing, really hitting that chair for real, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was great acting between them. The fight was amazing. The ending, I was very upset because Obafemi, they both put on a great show. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, they both put on a great show. The ending sounded good on paper. It just wasn't acted out properly. Um, I thought the ending was a little bit too quick. The whole match, I don't think there was any filler. There was not really any downtime. Like the whole match was exciting. The whole match was great. I didn't like how I guess they're called the family. Like
Yeah. The family.
D'Angelo's crew came in and helped. They shouldn't have. They just seemed out of place. It seemed like it was something that shouldn't have happened. But they interrupted, and D'Angelo got the title. I mean, he won the match. So I'd like to see more of Obafemi. I think he's really impressive. He kind of looks like, if you guys don't know, or if you do, let me know if you agree. But he looks like if Booker T and Busta Rhymes had a love child. That's him. That's what it reminds me of. So great match. Again, I've got some notes that I'm checking out here and there. The announce table was used and it
Mhm.
didn't break. And to me, I thought that looked more painful. That table
Yeah.
doesn't shift, it just looks more like but I know why it didn't break because it involves in a match later. However, I'd like to see that. And I loved the crowd was into it. The crowd loved it. Um, it was a strong match. And for this literally being my very first NXT watch, watch through pay-per-view Havoc, amazing. Loved it. Great start. What were your thoughts on that match?
I thought that match was it might have been my either my favorite or my second favorite match of the night. I I hate that he lost because he's probably my favorite in NXT
Hmm.
as far as males go. I I do believe I know why he had to lose because either two things are going to happen with him. Either he's going to go for the heavyweight title in NXT, or they're going to bring him up to the main roster.
So the North American title, is that kind of like intercontinental
It's kind of
level?
like
Is that?
the Continental Belt.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So he was the champion beforehand, and he was the longest reigning North American champion. So I think they're probably going to either have him go against Trick, or they're going to bring him up to the main roster, be on SmackDown or Raw. And I feel like that's why he lost.
So correct me if I'm wrong, and this is why I haven't watched NXT. I never really gave it a chance.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at NXT as like the boot camp of WWE. Like
Hmm.
in order to get to WWE now, you have to go through NXT. Is that not the case? Like is NXT like its own universe?
It is. It's its own kind of like an independent company that Shawn Michael runs. That's what NXT is. So pretty much, it's a development. They put you on you're on NXT and you develop your craft. And then once they think you're ready, they'll bring you up to the big leagues. Although some will say that NXT puts on better matches than SmackDown or Raw because they're allowed to do more in NXT than they are kind of in Raw and SmackDown.
What do you
So
mean by more?
so when you get to the main thing, they don't expect they're looking for money pretty much. They're looking for star talent. So in NXT, you're getting developed. So they're pushing everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets to show their talent. Well, kind of like what I said about uh not Tama, the other guy, the one in the bloodline.
Fatu?
Not Fatu, the guy that came first. I can't. I'm sorry. I drew a blank on his name, but remember I said his mic skills and his wrestling skills are above what they're having him do.
Oh, the smaller one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that. It's like they kind of hold you back once you get to the main stage. But in next, you can show off all your talent. Like you can just you're able to wrestle. So that's what I mean when I say that a lot of the wrestlers can actually show who they are in next. You know, so I think that that's where, unfortunately, and I hope he don't get caught up in the shuffle when he goes to the main roster, like they do a lot of the next people. They kind of just fillers for the
So
big.
you mentioned that you think that he got bumped out of the spot because to set him up for Trick and to maybe be champion again. So what do you think, or if you know for a fact, like what is the longevity of your career in NXT? Like, are you like a 2 year, 3 year? Is it more than that?
Depends on the wrestler, uh, because Asuka came from there. Uh, she was there for about a year and a half or so.
Oh wow, okay.
They moved her up. Charlotte, Becky, all of those people came from NXT. So I mean, it just depends on how fast you develop and how popular you become. Some of them stay for 2 years, some of them stay for a year, some don't make it to the next roster.
Is there an OG in NXT? Like, is there somebody that you would consider like, why haven't you got moved up? Like,
Moved up. Um, Not really. Uh, Trick's been there for a minute, but he's still young and he's still developing himself. Um, William Regal is the forefather of NXT. It's good to see him back on there.
Regal's a part of it?
Yeah, yep, Regal's a part
Oh
of it.
no shit. Okay.
Hmm. Um, but yeah, I think that I think he's going to do great if they push him right in WWE, and I think that's why he lost. As far as Tony D'Angelo goes, I like him, but I'm not like super big on him. He's kind of like remember the FBI
Yeah.
back then? That's kind of their group kind of reminds me of that.
Mm,
Like if they go to the main roster, they're really gonna get.
destroyed.
Yep.
Okay. So just to jump back, because I do want to do some more podcasts and maybe have like some NXT talk because I'm interested now. It definitely piqued my interest in there. Real impressed with that. So
Yep.
moving on to the next match, it's a women's tag team match. You've got Cora Jade, which
Hmm.
they label her as the mean girl of NXT,
Yep.
and Roxanne Perez,
Yes.
uh, who is the NXT Women's Champion.
That's the prodigy.
That's the project. Okay. And then they're facing Stephanie Vaquer and Julia.
Yes.
Um, so question, do they normally dress like that, or was that just a Halloween Havoc kind of a thing?
Which ones?
All of them, like those four girls, I guess, because
It's kind of how they
it
dress.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because not for nothing, but I think it was who's the team that was dressed the same?
That was Cora Jaden and uh Perez. Roxanne
Okay.
Perez. Yeah.
Because I can't remember their names. However, I did put a side note. It kind of looked like it was like Bath and Body Girl baddies because they had the checker pattern and the same color scheme too, versus like Desperate Housewives from Mortal Kombat. Like it was just like, what in the world? Um, man, these women are beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not only that, it's they're talented.
Talented.
And in a
Yes.
weird way, it makes them more beautiful. Like it's
Yes.
just
Yes.
very eye-catching. I like how they had separate entrances.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that. The sequences of pins that Perez and Vaquer were doing,
Yeah.
and then they switch it into a submission where Vaquer is slamming your head on the mat. Like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Um, it was nice to see all four girls in the ring. No, did he? And the submission, like both of them had the same submission on the floor. That was pretty dope. Vaquer with the corkscrew backflip.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I didn't know the girl could move like that. Very, very nice to see. The cameraman loved Vaquer. Every time she was bent over, the cameraman was like, got it. Don't worry about it. It was nice. The ref almost gets hit like several times in this match.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's part of the scheme. No, the ref's just in the
Oh,
way.
yeah, he was in the way up.
Um, and what in the world happened? The lights went out,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, it looked like Luna and Goro had a baby, and this is what they produced.
Ziara.
Like who Ziara, is that her name?
Uh-huh.
Who is she? Is she new? Is she
New. She's new. She came from an independent wrestling. She's top notch girl. So and let me, Shawn Michaels, big ups to you because you hands down have the best women wrestlers in wrestling, period. That goes for Raw, that goes for SmackDown, that goes for fucking AEW and TNA, whatever. NXT has the best women wrestlers out there. And signing Ziara just proves it. So she's a she's a powerhouse. I don't know if you know who Jordan is in TNA.
no?
You will because you're gonna start watching next. She comes from TNA. She's gonna be on next sometimes. She goes back and forth, which is really
Really?
cool. Yes,
Yeah.
it's really cool. Um, but Zaire is a
Wait, Jordan,
powerhouse.
is it Kalani Jordan? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's the
Okay,
black.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, I got my notes, so I got my
It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, Ziara, she's a powerhouse. She's pretty damn good. She's the next big star on there, which is crazy because Julia just came. She
Now
just
the
came.
announcer says she's from Japan. Is she legit
Yep.
Japan or she's playing Japan?
No, she's legit from Japan.
Wow, and she cut her teeth out there, I'm guessing? Like she's a fighter from Japan?
Oh, she is amazing. She's uh
Because they don't play, dude. Japan wrestlers are ruthless.
Kyra Zane, Asuka, they all come from that same cloth of her. Yeah. So it's gonna she's nice. She's nice. And Stephanie Vaquera, she is from Chile, I believe. Um, she used to work in AEW for a little bit. Um, the face paint that she had on her face, like the half face paint,
Mhm.
that's like a tribute to one of the other wrestlers in women wrestlers in AEW,
Oh,
like one of
really?
her friends.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Um, but yeah, I love their women wrestlers. Like they're fucking amazing. Roxanne Perez is top notch. She reminds me so much of AJ Lee. CM Punk's wife is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like that's who she reminds me of.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was very impressed, especially with the women's matches.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like filler. It didn't seem like, okay, we need to kill some TV time or whatever. Like it was nonstop.
Yep.
They were doing stuff that I'm just like, holy cow! Like what in the world? Again, that corkscrew backflip. She, her opponent is outside the ring on the floor.
hmm
She's inside the ring. She goes over the top rope, corkscrew onto her. Like, wow, bro, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Agility, beauty. The crowd is into it.
Yes.
I just love it. And the NXT crowd is something else, man.
NXT crowd reminds me of ECW's crowd.
Yep, yep. They
That's
are
what it
they're very animated. They're
is.
very out there. They
Mhm.
want to cheer. They want a
Yes.
reason to cheer, to show their love. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I'm kicking myself because it was in Hershey, PA, and I'm like 3 hours from there. I could have freaking went, but you best believe I'm not gonna pass it up. NXT comes this way, I'm not gonna pass it up. I'm gonna say it here right now. I believe because I haven't watched NXT on TV yet,
hmm
but if it's something similar to Halloween Havoc, I would rather go to an NXT live event than go to a Raw. I think Raw has been slipping lately.
Yeah.
SmackDown's been popping.
Yes.
But and that's sad because I love Monday Night Raw, man. They've got such a huge history. But anyway, I digress. We definitely got to move on.
Yeah.
The next match was the ambulance match, which I'd love to see that was even an option. That was even a thing. So that was pretty cool. We had Andre Chase with his whole Chase University thing, who looked like Mr. Beast on steroids, versus in the Freddy sweater, by the way, which is a nice touch,
Yes.
versus a guy named Ridge Holland who looked like he was wearing a gold dust, had sex with a luchador mask on. Was fighting him. He looked like Doctor Doom in the Boom Boom Room. And at first, I was like, I'm not gonna like either one of these guys.
Yeah.
Um, Chase gets thrown over the barricade, like where the people are sitting,
Yeah.
and the other guy celebrates. And then when he turns around, Chase is standing on the freaking barricade and then jumps on him. I was like, that is dope. I haven't seen that in a very long time. I love watching that. The ambulance looked like an old school hearse Ghostbuster station wagon kind of a thing.
Yes.
Um, they used the Med Gurney a lot, which I loved. To me, that made so much sense. Use that shit. They were just ramming each other with that. Man, it sounds like a Diddy video. They were just ramming each other with the gurney on the barricade. Um, the chairs were used again. It
Yep.
was nice to see the kendo sticks. And I was surprised of how much the crowd loved Chase.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. They love him.
Chase at first glance just looks like the arrogant prick, like the asshole. And on the other hand, no, I can see why they relate to him because how many of these kids are college students or
Right.
college dropouts or whatever, just part of it. And they will, again, the crowd, that crowd feels like I pay my money. I want to have a good time. I want to support you. Give me reasons why. Let me show you love. Do something that makes me want to cheer because it was just amazing. Whether the wrestler won or lost, they just want to be entertained.
Yes.
I loved it. It was great. Um, I love the play by play that Chase has with the crowd. He was doing this move. I don't know if he does it all the time. I'm assuming he does because the crowd was in on it, where his opponent's on the floor and Chase he yells something to the crowd, and all of a sudden he starts kicking the guy on the chest, and they start spelling his name
Yeah.
CHASU. What does that spell? Chase you. I was like, oh, that's dope, man. You get that interaction with the crowd like that. That's cool. Um, they did something that I haven't seen done in a while,
What?
where the guy took the floor padding off, and it was
Yeah.
just the concrete, and he flips the guy on his back, and just you can see the wet marks in his back on the concrete. Like, oh man, that was nice to see. Um, they did this thing where it was a DDT by Chase to Ridge onto the announce table, which again the announce table doesn't break, and that just looks so much more painful when the announce table
Yeah.
doesn't break. I think a lot of times when the announce table breaks, it kind of gives that cushiony effect, but
Yeah.
this was great to see. Um, the eye gouge. I don't know if you caught
Oh
that
yeah.
when Ridge was in the ambulance. Chase is trying to shut it, and all of a sudden the guy takes his hand out, and that looked real as hell.
Yeah.
Like I really thought, like, oh shit, his sock is about to pop out. But that was cool. Spoiler alert: Ridge wins the match.
Yes.
I don't know what to think about Ridge. I'm not. I'm not too impressed. I'm not disappointed
Right.
at all. I think the match was great. Different, really great. I think if it wasn't an ambulance match, I'd probably be bored.
Yeah.
But because it was an ambulance match, they took advantage of it all. So just so you guys, if you guys haven't watched it or don't know about the ambulance match, it's just a no disqualification type of a match where you have to put your person or your opponent into the ambulance and shut the door to them. But they use the gurney, which you always see that in an ambulance. I thought that was cool. They use chairs, they use kendo sticks, they used everything under the ring. There was at one point where wrestlers kept going under the ring to get stuff. I was just waiting for one of them to pop one of them Gatorades open and chug it because why are there drinks under the ring? I don't get anyway. It was cool to watch. I loved it. What was your thought on that match?
I thought it was good. Like I'm kind of like you. I didn't know if I would actually like that match, but it was entertaining. It was really entertaining. And Ridge comes from. He was actually on the main roster. He was with Sheamus.
Oh, okay.
Um, and he didn't get as much shine or whatever, and they brought him back down to NXT, which is fine because
Oh,
he's good down there. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much where he should be at. Um, but the match was entertaining. Chase is very much over. Him and his university is very over with the crowd
yeah.
every week. So I thought it was really good. I think in those type of matches, it really doesn't matter who wins because win or lose, the crowd is so into it, they don't even care. They just love the fact that it was an entertaining match and it was fun. So he didn't really lose any stake by losing that match, which is good for him. Um, and again, Shawn Michaels put on a great show. So big ups to him for that.
So I was trying to read what Chase's wrestling style is.
Mhm.
Um, what is it? Is it like Sami Zayn-ish? Is it
A little
because
bit.
he's not a technical wrestler, but
Not
he's
really.
not afraid to jump. You know what I mean? Like he'll do stuff. But
He's more or everywhere. He does a range of things. Orthodox is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I couldn't
gotcha.
get the word out. Uh,
No, you're
so
good.
that's more his style. And he's a good talker on the mic too. So that always helps
Hmm, okay.
wrestlers that can actually talk on the mic.
I don't know. He just. I mean, I look at him. He just doesn't give
I
me
know he
wrestling
does.
vibe. He kind of looks like Mr. Beast and Tom Green had a baby. Like that's him. Like a,
He
boop.
does look like Tom Green.
Yeah. The backwards man, the backward. Anyway, yeah, he looks like him. The boy Ridge kind of gave me like Brock Lesnar vibes.
Yeah.
Um, Whoever's doing his costume, just change it because you got his name big as hell on his ass. It's just like no, it just reminds me of like the big booty shorts girls be wearing. Anyway, yeah, I don't look right. Um, he looks he has the looks.
Yeah.
Um, but he's not to me. He's not a memorable character.
He's not. And his look is good, but his look would have been good with Vince. His look doesn't really hold weight with people like Triple H and Shawn Michaels because if people notice, their push for people is not the bigger guys like that.
Right.
So, he's going to always be in that mid card range. That's where his value is.
He looks good though. He looks explosive. So hopefully, I mean, I'm excited to see where his career goes. I think he has a strong career. Moving forward, the next match, which I was shocked when I heard what kind of a match this was. For one, it was a women's NXT North American Championship match, but it
Oh,
was a gauntlet match.
yeah, gauntlet
And
match.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, to me, bro, if this was 10 years ago, this would have been like TV suicide. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna have a women's gauntlet match?
Yep.
So if you guys don't know what a gauntlet match is, it starts off with a one-on-one, one being the champion, other one being the opponent, but the champion can lose at any time
Yep.
and it's over. They
Hmm.
just have that one-on-one time. So if the champion beats the opponent's gone, the next match starts right now, like
Yep.
then and there. So it's really kind of like a King of the Ring style match for the champion.
Hmm.
The odds are very bad for the champ. So going into this, we've got from Fatal Influence. You've got Jasmine from Nyx, right? Is that, or is her name Jasmine Nyx?
Name is Jasmine Nix, I believe.
So Jasmine Nyx from Fatal Influence. I've got in quotations, damn, like
She's
she's
not.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you've got Kalani Jordan, which is the champion. Um, at first glance, I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm a little picky. She could use a little bit more in the back, but very pretty girl. And let me tell you, she must have super glue or something on that outfit she was wearing because I was ready to see it all. There were some positions and some camera shots that I'm like, this is gonna be X-rated, like very soon. But it was a good match, and I was so shocked to see that she's a high flyer. Like she's
Yeah.
not afraid to just sacrifice her body out like that. It was dope. Um, so the first gauntlet match was those two, and Kalani won.
Hmm.
And then the next person up is JC Jane,
Yep.
right? Okay. So I didn't know what to expect from JC Jane. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't bored, but I'm just thinking, okay, new person. She's gonna do something, whatever. I didn't see it. Um, I could have done without JC Jane in there.
Hmm.
Um, there was a move that Kalani did where she jumped over the top rope and hit JC Jane, who was on the bottom, and then she smacks her face on the side of the ring.
Yeah.
So this is the women's champion, smacks her face. And I watched this. Like I went back and you know, hit rewind and did the slow-mo. Bro, she smacks the fuck out of
She's,
her face.
yeah.
And she didn't break character in. I think at one point she went like this, and that's it.
Hmm.
That girl's tough, bro.
Yeah.
That girl's fucking tough. She could have easily concussed. Like that was just amazing to see. She held her own. She did not tire out. She was always moving, always doing something. The next person on there. Oh, by the way, the win that she got, she did this creative pin move where it was like a rollover into a bridge and just locked in that pin 1, 2, 3. That was beautiful. I love to see that. That was one of them X-rated scenes too. That I'm just like, I don't know if you caught it, but she did the bridge and she goes for the pin, and as soon as the ref hits it one, you can tell somebody's in the back. Change camera angle. Change camera angle. They changed that angle, boy. It was insane. And then for the third match, it was Fallon Henley,
Yeah.
another member from was it Nyx? Not Nyx. Fatal Influence. Another
Right.
member from Fatal Influence. Um, I wasn't too impressed with her. She looks the part,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to catch her movement, trying to see what her style was. Does she normally dress like that, or was that just a Halloween thing? She had like a cowgirl kind of a thing
It's kind
on.
of her thing,
Okay,
more or less. Yeah.
okay. I don't like it. Um,
Oh my-
however, I think that the champion definitely carried those two. The
yeah.
first girl she fought, which was Jasmine, did an amazing job.
She held her own. Yeah.
Yeah. The other two, I want to say the champion carried her,
Yeah.
and I was upset. I Kalani did such an amazing job, and she loses the match.
Yeah.
And she loses it over some bullshit. Again, some stuff that might have sounded good on paper, but when it was time to act it out, it just didn't look good. And I think she got robbed. I think she should have won. I think they dropped the ball big time on that. And this is not me being a fan of Kalani. This is me literally watching this for the first time, watching an NXT match. But that was amazing. I want to say that's to me, one of the highlights of that pay-per-view was that gauntlet match. And then the lights go out again. They play the same 2 to 3 second clip. And at first I'm like, guys, you just did this. Like, what the fuck? They did change it a little bit where now Zara is her name?
Sierra.
Zierra shows up in the ring, which was a nice touch. And she cleans house, boy.
Yeah.
She destroyed these girls. And to me, yeah, she looks like a star.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch her size when she first made her appearance.
Yeah.
But the second time, I was like, holy. The first thing I kept thinking was, finally, somebody that Rhea Ripley can go toe to toe with.
Yeah.
So very impressive. And I want to say the announcer said she was from Australia. I didn't even know Australia had like a wrestling thing like that.
That's where which one calls from? Rhea.
Really? Oh, that's right. That's right. But it just doesn't like whenever I think wrestling, I don't think Australia. You know what I mean? I'll think of like Japan. I'll think of, because of the Hart family, I'll think of Calgary, I'll think of places like that. But I don't pinpoint Australia really into that. I think Australia, I think of places I'm never going to go because of the spiders and snakes and all that bullshit. I ain't going to have no buff ass kangaroo trying to knock me out. I ain't having. But anyway, the gauntlet match. What did you think about that match? And it was a long match.
It was, but kind of like y'all was disappointed at the ending. Now I get why she lost the belt, but Kalani has been carrying, like you said, she kind of carried the other two, which is kind of amazing because the last two girls were supposed to be the main ones.
Really?
Yeah, they're
so Jasmine's like the weakest link. Jasmine was on fire, bro. She was good.
She's supposed to be the weakest link. But to me, in that match, she looked way better than the other two.
Yeah.
She did. Kalani's amazing. Like, she's always, her energy, her happiness, excitement, how she moves, like she's flexible as hell. Her agility, her speed is amazing.
Her clothes too are flexible.
Yeah. Like I was really disappointed that she lost that match because I'm like, they need to keep her as the champion.
It was dope. It was dope. And like hearing you say that, maybe they did it on purpose because here you go, you're a fan. You would consider yourself a fan of NXT, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan because this is my first time watching it. And look how upset I got. Like, damn, she could have kept the belt. So they drugged me, no diddy, into the story. So I'm like, I like this. Okay. So I kind of want to see what happens from here. There's no Night of Champions for NXT, right? Like they're not going to incorporate them into it, or?
I don't believe so.
Okay. But let me tell you, even though I say that Kalani carried the other two girls, these girls weren't slouches.
No,
just
not at all.
When I'm watching wrestling, I'm thinking of, can these people relate to the crowd?
Mm-hmm.
Can these people perform on their own? If they're losing, are they selling it well? And if they're winning, are they keeping up with it? Are they keeping up well? So I look at wrestling a whole lot different than the average fan. And these two girls, they just didn't catch that attention from me. I want to say Jasmine was very impressive, and Kalani, dude, much respect. That girl's a monster.
Yeah, I love Kalani.
She's dope. So moving on to the next match, we got the NXT Championship match, which was dubbed the Devil's Playground match. You've got All Ego Ethan Page, who looks like Eric Bischoff had a wrestling kid. That would be him. That's who he reminds me of. Versus Trick Williams,
Yes.
who yeah, there's definitely got to be a 52 and me in there, and that's freaking Booker T's son. I don't care what anybody says. That's his bloodline. That's literally Booker T right there. Um, the entrance is dope.
Yeah.
Now, earlier in this podcast, I said that I maybe heard of one guy, and this is the guy. It was Trick Williams. And the reason I
Yeah.
heard of him is because the audience likes to yell, "Whoop that Trick."
That's
And
right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that is genius. Genius. Whoop that Trick. Get him. Like, I was waiting for Terrence Howard to just come out and just start rapping out there with him. Like, oh my gosh. It was dope. I love the entrance. It was amazing. And that match was pretty much chair smack central.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I didn't think I was gonna like Ethan Page.
Page. Yeah.
He has a very like cocky, kind of like
Mm.
cocky pretty boy. He kind of reminds me of Rick Martel.
Yeah.
The model Martel reminds me of him. And very like cocky and arrogant. But man, this kid's funny, though. Like
Yes. Yes.
he's good. He's a good wrestler. I was very impressed with the match. There was a point where, so whoever, do you know who the other announcer is? Like there's Booker T and there's the other guy.
I don't know it. I can't remember his name.
So this guy had like a Halloween suit on, like it was
Mm.
black with the orange pumpkins. And
Yeah.
on the announcer table, they have a carved out pumpkin. So Ethan, and this is during the match, Ethan comes out of the ring, picks up the pumpkin, looks at the announcer and says, "Ah, you look stupid." Goes in the ring and tries to take the pumpkin and smash it on Trick's head.
Yeah.
Trick kicks him. The guy throws the pumpkin. Trick catches the pumpkin and plants it right on Ethan's head and starts kicking the shit out of him, destroying the pumpkin. Loved it. Very, very well played. Lots of audience engagement. Um, Very impressive from both guys. I wasn't bored whatsoever.
No.
Ethan Page has like this razor's edge move. So many people are just taking this damn move, but there's I had back surgery several times. So when I see like people attacking the back, it just hits me different, right? So the steel steps are in the ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They do the razor's edge. Well, no, the razor's edge happened on the announce table, right?
Yes.
Boom. That's gotta hurt. I don't care who you are. And then the steel steps are in the ring. And then the guy he body slams Trick onto the steel steps and his back hits the steps. I'm thinking in my head, he's done. He ain't getting up. He ends up getting up. Then he takes Ethan and does the rock bottom on the steel steps.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, bro. Incredible, man. The stuff that these people are just putting their bodies through. At the end of the day, it's for a check, bro. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. But the fans loved it. The fans are yelling, "Holy shit!" The fans are NXT, like they're into it. The champ wins the match. He's celebrating, and then all of a sudden, here comes Ridge. Ridge Holland comes out and jumps on the champ and starts hitting the champ. I'm thinking Ethan's gonna interrupt and say something, and Ethan's like, "No, if you're gonna do this right." And they start jumping him, and out of nowhere, Bubba Ray Dudley, gets in the ring and comes to the rescue, and it was nice. I love seeing it. I was shocked. I saw that he did like a commentary thing, real quick, and he warned Holland like, "You do it again, I'm gonna get you." And he interrupted, and it was nice to see Bubba Ray out there, and he looks like he's still got it.
A little bit. It got a little bigger.
Yeah. Oh, he's always been big. He's always been big, but he looks like he's still got it. I think he has a good maybe 3 or 4 fights left in him.
He got a couple.
So that's it for Halloween Havoc. At the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I really liked the match. the fights that they had, it was really impressive. Um, from WWE perspective, I want to say this was better than the WWE pay-per-views. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was because the crowds were smaller and you got to see more of the crowd.
Right.
I don't know if the ring is smaller or bigger, but it just felt more intimate. You felt more like involved. Um, I really don't have any complaints. The complaints that I did have during this, again, this is from somebody that watches wrestling differently, and this is me really trying to critique it. But I enjoyed the matches. I loved it. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a typical NXT pay-per-view, or would you say no, they went above and beyond on this one?
This is honestly a typical NXT pay-per-view. Like, this is how their pay-per-views are. They're usually very impactful. They're very fun to watch. The crowd is always into it. Like I said, Next gives me that ECW feel for people that used to watch ECW back in the day. Like, that's what it feels like when I watch NXT. Um, I know you probably didn't catch NXT tonight.
No.
I didn't catch it. I was busy. I was doing some writing and things like that. But when I did turn over there, I think I seen the NXT War Games match for the women.
Ooh, okay.
I think I see who's going to be in there, and all I'm going to say is, bro, you gotta watch it because it's exciting.
They're
It's
on
ex-
the CW, right? NXT is on the
yes.
CW.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm a catch. I'm a catch. I'm interested. I like what they're doing. Do they have managers? Are there
Oh yeah, yeah.
people
They
like
have.
Paul Heyman and stuff in there?
They don't have a Paul Heyman, but he comes to NXT every now and then. Like when Braun Breaker was on NXT, Paul Heyman was there and was, he's kind of nudging him like, hey, you know,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
look at me. Uh Taker came on there. Uh like a lot of the legends go back there to NXT and work with these younger guys and younger females, and I love it. Like it's exciting for me. Like being a fan, like I said, I like it a little. I like it way more than I like Raw.
Yeah,
SmackDown,
Raw has been a lot of chatty patty
yeah,
stuff. Just too much mic time at the wrong times too.
exactly. And I think without Jay on Raw, it's not that exciting, honestly. But that's another topic for another day.
Absolutely. So, guys, let us know what you think about Halloween Havoc. Let us know what you think about this review. Leave a thumbs up, man. The thumbs up helps us out so much, helps us out tremendously. The channel's growing, so we love it. We appreciate it. And let us know what was your favorite match. What would you have done differently? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you neutral with it? If you haven't watched NXT, watch Halloween Havoc. This is dope. You won't regret it. And if you want to reach out to us directly, hit us up on our email, thejktheory@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Jay,
I'm Kay.
and this is the JK Theory. Peace.
Peace.